2328 is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
Hi, Joe. Listen, I don't know if you're getting your voicemail messages, but I just want to let you know that the police have put out a press release calling for your arrest, claiming you discharged a firearm. Of course, we're worried, so, keep safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers, bye.
At the moment, straight after this interview, I will not be safe. I will still be hiding until such time when my name is clear, but still, they will still be following me. And they are only looking for opportunity to either shoot me or hijack me. So it's a bit scary. Because if I get into the cells, I don't think my safety will be guaranteed. So they're trying to get rid of me, then take over the community. That's the whole idea. My dad was the chief in the village, and he always tells me that as long as you are alive, you must help others.
Who's calling you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want cigarette here?
Correct.
We need to get this thing done today because we don't get this thing done without.
I know.
Huh? Before sunset. Huh?
There's a developer that is interested in Paga Hill without due consideration of our livelihood. And the company just want to remove the people of their land, and we go to the court, and then the court will make the final decision. We've been on this land for the last 54 years. This is home. That's why I put my hand up to give my 100% to the community.
Ratus has just rung me. The mobile squad is gone in and they're smashing down the houses in Paga. Joe's house is already gone. It's just disgusting. Often in Papua New Guinea, we don't know what's going to happen. We are called the land of the unexpected. Nobody wants to be in the opposition in any country, and especially in Papua New Guinea. I've had 15 years in politics. And you respond to whatever circumstances you're in. Stop the demolition. This is a national park for future generations of Papua New Guinea. Stop the demolition. Just ask them to leave and let them take their houses down. Why should some company get our hill? Tell me how the people are going to benefit. They say there's going to be a marina cruise line of world. That's the big people. Hollie, get to the car. Take her to the car.
Get over there. Wait, okay, man, run, go up. Run. Oh, okay, give me some. You just stand there. Stand there.
Yeah, what? Stay here. Now, lady, Kidu.
Royce, the man. Hold on, look him in. I feel really sorry for the whole community, and where are we going to go? I mean, we're gonna be dispersed for good. It will be like a mourning day for us here. After we hear that, we're gonna move out from here.
So now this the days, me plus cried a solo no sem damage. Strong alone, kisim this la grad lo working business or sem. Dipla I fight against all no sem bam la court. Ida bro me plan continue. Dipla operating was sem.
No.
Mipla by try best play milo how best this la community by senis. So by me no stop lo kain life olsem. Wish plomina like plomita solem olsem. You mil kata harim talk na walk one time. Lo sanap lo mipla lo pait lo des lahap. But this require him hard talk lo you me. Harim talk, cleaning place, cleaning him sit down below you as a family. Mipla like him me sit down one time. I will be held responsible. The company be held responsible.
Sorry, brother.
First thing first, okay, we have to file our affidavit, which how many days? 11 days. For us to file the affidavit of around 1,000 people.
Okay.
It's not possible, you see.
Not possible.
Yes. So I'll do an application to vary those orders.
Okay.
Am I right?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
And writ of summons, I think we should just go by way of Section 59 of the Constitution. Enforcement of human rights.
Our case is straightforward. All we're fighting for is for them to do what is right. That's all. I mean, you cannot just go treating human beings like animals.
It's been 6 days since homes were destroyed at Paga Hill in Port Moresby. Yet there is deafening silence and lack of support by authorities. Now there are high health and safety risks among the displaced residents who are now living under canvases and in tents where their homes used to be.
On the day of the demolition of houses, Joe Moses claims about 100 heavily armed police officers came to the Paga Hill site. Only the intervention of lawyers with a stop order brought the violence to an end.
The top section of Paga Hill is being developed into a world-class tourist attraction by Paga Hill Development Company. After further development, Paga Hill's value will quadruple.
Paga Hill will eventually have probably 2 major hotels, about 800 apartments, a major cultural center.
I've never been part of the inner circles of politics, a woman alone, and I've not ever tried to play male politics and fight corruption. There's too much grey in politics, there's too much area of compromise. You're not comfortable with a whole lot of things happening around you, but you've got to decide what you are in there for and what your purpose is. One day I will have to walk away and say, I've done what I can, and that's enough.
Papua New Guinea is in the grip of a constitutional crisis, with Sir Michael Somare and Peter O'Neill both claiming to be the country's legitimate leader.
The Supreme Court demanded Somare be restored to office. O'Neill refuses to go. He insists it is not a coup.
Dame Carol Kidu condemned the behavior of the leaders in their pursuit for power.
There's a great danger with dictatorial powers in a country such as ours. By going and taking the leadership of the opposition, it gave me a legitimate voice. I just felt that's what I had to do. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
In 2012, Dame Carol Kidu will retire from politics after 3 terms as the only woman in the country's parliament.
You intend to retire at the next election?
I feel I can serve better outside than inside. Time will tell.
The only member that I trust in the parliament is Lady Kidu. That's all. Nobody else. As far as I know.
Part of the urbanisation policy is relocation or thinning out with settlements. And yet the policy doesn't go on to the mechanisms of how you do it. What is distressing is that we're not making any allowances for the people who are living in those places.
She's been our backbone. And, without her, I don't think I can survive. She's been giving the courage and, she's at the forefront and I'm at the back pushing.
From the outset, the vision for Paga Hill was to create an icon that would promote Papua New Guinea as a viable destination for tourists, residents, and investors alike. Paga Hill being such a prominent site within the city, we feel a great sense of responsibility to be a good corporate citizen, but totally committed to ensuring that the informal settlers are treated as integral part of the project. We need to make sure we work together.
I came in around about 1981. That's a very long time. This is a brick that I use it. It's a nice one. What's it? What a big boy. When the demonstration was done, the first thing that they took my everything down and I pull it down and I build the small one. And I didn't complete it, but I just wait around for the pot. No light. This was used only candlesticks. Because they put the power of this my equipment. Big TV. It's already packed up and I left it in here. Yeah, this is a big one here. Not packed up, but no power, so I just put it out there. So I usually sometimes I use it Jamaica there, but at the moment, I'm not using it. Breathe in. Both palms down on your mat. Take your left leg back. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out, palms together at the heart. Bowing head, Blue. Respect him, aim, Blue. Respect him, you yet.
Settlement means a group of people, getting together and living in one particular place. A place to live. The community was so peaceful. We have our church here. We have a school there. We have a law and order committee. These are people, these are not patient dogs. And this is their home, this is the fourth generation. It's not a place where there's rascalism, there's murderers, there's rapists. No, it's not that case.
Okay, nice.
We are not lawyers by profession. I need to get more advice on that. I need to collect as much evidence as possible. We put our case on the internet and expose the case as much as possible.
Wednesday, and the court said.
And that's where we started having this international community coming in to help us in terms of investigation.
Went to court on Wednesday, and the court said we have to have grounds to fight for what we are standing for here in Paga. Yeah, this is not an eviction exercise. This is a demolition exercise.
I first heard about the Paga Hill demolition on Facebook. My background was researching issues around conflict and war. The destruction at Paga Hill echoed what I'd researched in Bougainville, where entire villages were just demolished and levelled. And yet this happened in downtown Port Moresby on Saturday. There was something about Paga Hill that would provide a pathway into a systemic form of criminality that was eroding life in PNG.
Hello, Joe speaking.
Hi Joe, it's Chris.
Hello, Chris. Good night to you. Hope you're good.
How are you, mate?
I'm all right.
I'm meeting with a range of really good people here, and hopefully they'll give me some more ideas about how to take this up. My offer is always standing that your lawyer should get in contact with me when he begins to compile the facts there. So,
all right. What I'll do is I'll get a copy of the first stay order, and I will email it to you as soon as I grab hold of it.
Cool. Okay, Joe, lovely.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Lovely
Thank
speaking.
You for your time.
Thank you, Joe.
And,
I really
you made my day by, hearing your voice. It gives me a boost.
I felt the need to go out and visit the community. The fault lines of the struggle were still very much grey. How you going?
Very tired.
I believe you just built your house yesterday.
Yes,
yeah? So you had to live in a tent for basically a year?
Yeah. I just want to make sure that this is the evidence of what happened on May 12, 2012. So
there was you, your wife, your
Yeah.
kids.
Yes.
You had some cousins or in-laws?
Yes, some in-laws and some other family relatives and friends.
Okay, so what's in your case file in terms of documents? And is it okay to look through this?
Yes, please.
Yep. So I'll just have a quick look through and just get a sense of what you have and what is needed. So it seems like a lot of the documentation you currently have relates specifically to the eviction order. So what I can probably be much more useful in
I just need ammunition. That's
Okay, I can give you I'll give you as much ammunition as I can possibly give you, and if you don't think there's enough ammunition, tell me. That's what I do. I find ammunition and then I give it to people who know how to fire it in the court of law.
Yes, sorry. At this stage now, like, I don't have any evidence, nothing. So all I'm doing now is just to protect the interest of the people who are living now, to buy them time, for them to stay on the land for a bit longer.
I'm working on 3,000 affidavits. We'll wait for Professor Laslet's report on how the company obtains the title. We get this thing together as soon as possible so that we can start bombarding the company.
My retirement from politics will be when the writs are returned. I've got many plans, but I know I have to just sit, take time out and decide, well, what is possible? How can I be most useful and yet still be pragmatic that I have to earn an income?
So my final question, a word of advice to the up-and-coming future women leaders. From your experience, what do you think is the most important value?
Yeah. You've got to be very strong inside yourself. That's for sure. You've got to know where you stand on issues, not be uncompromising, be willing to compromise if necessary, because politics is all about compromise. You might have to give something to get something. I don't mean compromise financially. I'm talking about on the issue. You mightn't get the full thing you wanted, but you might compromise part of the issue to get part of the way.
Paga were organised. They were resisting. They weren't moving off the land. They mobilised the community. They had leaders who were astute, well-educated. They were mobilising political support. They were mobilising legal support, and they were mobilising public support. And to me, I thought, well, not only is this important in terms of the human rights abuses and the illegalities, but also the way in which communities are organising collectively to resist these forms of development. In subsequent weeks after I met Joe, I began to find these fragments of information. Firstly, 13.1 hectares of Paga Hill comes under a legal portion that's known as portion 1597. That portion of land was a national park. According to the Public Accounts Committee, it was an area of great natural beauty and that it should be reserved from development. But what actually happened was a 99-year business lease was issued to Paga Hill Development Company. In this lease, the rent is reduced from 250,000 kina a year down to 50,000 kina. I felt that this was the tip of an iceberg of the illegal black market in state leases. The company then get a letter of exoneration from the Public Accounts Committee overturning the findings of the report.
There is malpractice within the lands department. There are people within the government ranks that are manipulating the system.
That led me to investigate portion 1597. The major discovery there was that PHTC didn't have title to the land on the foreshore. That wasn't part of 1597. The land on which their homes had stood, which had been demolished at gunpoint, was outside the lease. The police had no right to harass, intimidate, or demolish any properties there. That demolition exercise was illegitimate in every sense and every form.
I have a winning case. We are not part of portion 1597. I provide evidence and facts. I'm talking about empirical facts, empirical evidence. And these are the truth.
On Saturday, the residents were presenting their case to a judge to be heard in the National Court.
Our argument is the piece of land that where the demolition took place. It is a totally different piece of land altogether from portion 1597. Apart from that, we cannot say much anymore. Thank you so much.
As soon as I walked into the courthouse, everything was all in my favor. I did not panic. The court stated that from the top of the mountain right to the seafront, it's all part of portion 1597.
The National Court gave 45 days to Joe Moses and his group to move out of the property. The court did not consider the evidence that we put before it. And now we are appealing that decision now in the Supreme Court. I feel very, very sorry for the people. You know, yeah, but that's life, I guess. We will get through this.
we can buy some more time.
The biggest challenge in the community in this fight is financial issues. I can't fight with my fist. I can't use my homemade gun and fight. But I'm just gonna use art. We the youths, we all gonna use art to fight and resist against the demolition or eviction.
Tonight on MTV News Special Report, we look at how art is being used by Port Moresby youth to express their freedom of speech in a democracy. It's non-violent, colorful, and mixed with a splash of yoga.
The subject of the painting, Alan Mogarima, is a mentor to the youth of Paga Hill. The painting is currently on sale. All proceeds will be used to pay for further legal costs as the fight for Paga Hill remains with the courts.
All these lawyers, they are being paid. People are still contributing. These are low-income earners. Still, they're so passionate about it. No matter what, they at least contribute something.
21. Okay. Plus yesterday's collection, Amas. 740.
Gumi Fredrickson is an Icelandic Australian. He's a venture capitalist, I suppose, who makes a lot of money through speculative projects. He began his commercial career in 1992. He went from being a licorice factory entrepreneur, a jeans importer-exporter. He arrived in Papua New Guinea as a publisher now. Quite a sort of tangential sort of leap from one unconnected industry to another. He's been involved in a hugely controversial book publishing deal for the PNG government. The book was replete with mistakes. It was shoddily put together. The book was contracted for 2.5 million kina, so it was 5 times the actual market cost. Then Gumi sets up his own company, which handles deceased estates. The first red flag was clearly raised by PNG's government public accounting agency. And they found 10 illegal contracts were made. No one was able to trace the money from the deceased estates.
According to the Auditor General's report, the contracts were riddled with illegalities.
I don't think at this stage Joe was aware of what he was actually fighting against.
Fredrickson's idea is a dream. It's what can I say? It's a paper dream that will not eventuate. It's just too much. He hasn't developed such things in his lifetime.
there. Hello. So, milak tok sabe lo iplaul sem. Mino hamo mas lo tok lo lady Kidu lo avinun. I'm not happy. Emi tokol sem. Em by sign him contract one time des la campania. Na em by work one time more lo try lo negotiate. Em by come up namel meri lo company na Yumi. Lo how best baul resettle him Yumi. Mikrab na mi tokim lady Kidu olsem. Suppose you genuine lo recently mo line blow me. You go find him ground, you buy him. Roti go on site, light go on site, water go on site, siri system you go on site. You build him house plongol na kisimol go na putimolo. Na lady Kidu kiram to, Joe, you are asking too much. Na mikrab do, so be it. Someone has to stand up and make sure the government recognize these UN rules, international laws. Where government him sit down belong human being. You Mia, you play stop here, ya. You people are you play bipo yeti come na you play stop here, place play ya. No kan man by come na kissing this lahab. This is where you guys belong. No kan salim live live la cheaply long all greedy life.
The Paga Hill Development Company has won title of Paga Hill. Chief Executive Officer of Paga Hill Estate, Gudmundur Fredriksson, said the company was serious about its commitment to provide a relocation solution. The company, with the help of former politician cum consultant Dame Carol Kidu, have made this 14-hectare parcel of land a reality. They get access to essential services like water and power, and a 500 square meter community center, which currently houses temporary sleeping quarters.
That's not too annoying there.
Oh, good. Great.
The company actually approached me, I'm trying to think when, towards the end of 2013, just by chance, saw the company CEO on the plane, and he said, would you consider helping with the relocation exercise? I said, no. People will say I've been bought out. I'll wait until we see what happens. But I decided to start working on, because of the National Court decision. People were hoping the company would actually build houses and things, but there's no obligation. I've told them, really, the company is not obliged to do anything. You were living on land that the court has now said belongs to them. And I'm not going to question the court decision. It belongs to Paga Hill. So what is being done so far is more than is being given to any other evicted person around this city. Hopefully it can start to set a standard.
Today, a contract of 50 million kina was signed between NCDC and Kethan Brothers for works to begin immediately to build a 2-kilometer ring road around Paga Hill,
part of the ongoing development process of building better roadworks throughout the city. Not a minute too soon, and clearing work has already begun to a large area of the hill.
Wara. Okay, wait, me tell
The last thing is tired of living in this canvas. Hot
No can worry. You got time lo by building good house. Now wait, patience. Time you got patience. Plan the good plus something by come up lane. Patience and because well na buni me. Look at something in me by make sure also they lose the whole case.
Hello, please.
Hi, Joe. The community has to be ready for a potential second demolition.
That's the problem that we're afraid of at the moment.
You're doing the right things. I think they see you as a significant threat. Let's get prepared for this case.
Exactly.
The Papua New Guinea government published a press release. As soon as I saw this bulletin, I thought it's going to begin. It looked bad. The PNG government felt it was more than appropriate to not forfeit the lease, but become a 50-50 partner in this development. The state were now 50-50 partners in this project. So now the state had financial interest in seeing Joe silenced, and they had just as much reason to see Joe silenced as the company. And yet, unlike the company, they had the means of violence to do that.
If we are fighting against Paga Hill Development Company, then we're actually fighting against the government of the day. So that's the real issue. That's why I've been laying a low profile. I just don't want to make it anyways. And, it creates a lot of enemies. So I'm trying to play safe here. I don't really want to expose myself. Because anywhere you go, they have their men all around.
What can you say? I say to him, well, you're now a political dissident. You are challenging a state project, and you are a threat to your government, and they want to do you harm. It could very well lead him to be killed. So my advice to him was that he should seek asylum. That would be the only way of guaranteeing his safety. But of course, Joe won't seek asylum because it would discontinue his struggle.
Has the police harassment stopped? Do you...
They've been following me from work to the house, and they've been monitoring my movement.
Keep safe and keep your head down, and hopefully we'll catch up soon in person.
Yes, definitely.
Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, has the Paga Hill development project benefited from the close connections to government?
I think that's... No. Let's be clear on one thing. The legitimacy to our title is undisputed, cannot be denied. I mean, to quote outdated reports is just absurd. They've been subsequently, amended. There have been
Well, how do you explain that on the day of the demolition that police came armed and ready while the case was still to be heard before court when the settlement leaders were trying to get a stay of the demolition?
Now, they sought a stay order in the National Court the next on that day, and they succeeded. And when the eviction was in process, when they arrived with that, we stopped. Let's be clear, it's not a forced eviction, it's a forced relocation.
At the moment, the community, they are very scared of the company, of the government, of the police, all the institutions, because they knew the government themselves, they are involved. They are the root of this eviction or demolition of Paga Hill community.
Over 200 Paga Hill residents were relocated to 6 Mile this year in a means to free up space for developer Paga Hill Limited. Taking initiative, the company went out of its way to purchase land at 6 Mile to accommodate those affected by the development. Yesterday, a special event was staged at what is now called the Tagoa community. CEO Gudmundur Fredriksson has gone through challenging times to get to the present stage.
What has been achieved here at Tagoa community is a proof that harmonious resettlement can be achieved in Papua New Guinea.
The head of United Nations in PNG, Roy Trivedi, gave his vote of confidence to the company for its human rights approach.
The first time a national corporation like this supports the resettlement of communities. It is the first time it has happened in Papua New Guinea, in my experience.
Dame Carol Kidu was forgiving, clarifying she was simply standing up for the settlers from a human rights perspective.
It's been a long journey. A long journey, a hard journey. And it is a time to celebrate. You have come a long way with a company that has shown that it cares.
Now this is the time. Stop inside the alone community. Me play the two group. One play am only go out finish one time all company because only kai money finish. All pay more 10,000. Now me play sen sample me play no kisi money yet. O say me play by wait. Wait aso la harem talk lo leaders from me play by stop wait. When I'm something, I'm walking finish lo this la appeal case ya. And me play by looking.
They just come in and they say, we'll give you this much, move to 6 Mile. The implications are this: our social welfare, there's no development. There are procedures to be followed, there are laws to be followed.
Okay, so I guess the first thing was, it's interesting you said that the cases weren't what you expected.
No. I thought that there was much more protection for settlers than there was. It's very much focused on the rights of the people who are trying to evict them. I was looking into, and I wanted to ask you regarding like housing or a national policy for housing. Is there anything like that?
There's a national urbanisation strategy. That was driven predominantly by Dame Carol Kidu. She's helped to relocate some of the residents to land at 6 Mile, which is customarily owned. So they have no security of tenure. They're just there. They have no rights. They're just on this new land. The customary owners are have been given a sum of money to accommodate them, but there is no legally enforceable right of this community to stay at 6 Mile. If those customary landowners go, well, thank you very much for the money, we don't like them, that's it, they'll be out.
This is 6 Mile area where the Paga Hill Development Company wanted to relocate us. Hard right. As I'm speaking right now, I'm wired. I have with me speakers and I have a camera in my hand. If Ryan is here or Uncle Allen is here,
I wish to speak to them, like, for 2 or 3 minutes.
Did you talk to the people? Are they aware of what you're doing?
No. Who?
This one's under the tree.
Under the tree?
No,
they just told me with camera.
Hey, okay. I just worried, people talk.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
I might do this thing.
Thanks for control.
It's okay, but it's not the same in Paga, huh? Not as they promised us. I think the basic things, power is a bit okay now, but the water is still the problem. When you look at how they are reporting on the paper and what is actually taking place, most of it don't match.
It's very sad. Oh. It's very sad. No attention.
It's not perfect, but I think there's been a genuine attempt by the company to do something that's useful. And perhaps they're being too ambitious, to be quite frank. I think the company is being even over-ambitious over about what they want to achieve for the people who've been moved. Because, there's a stage where you can end up creating a dependency mentality.
All the school beginning is still outside, I go cut a car. And Hollie Brown, and sit down, and one.
This is taking people's life so badly. Because you mean tablo, one blamberanda da so. You mean all Papua New Guinea. Sister Mara. Blood blow you sir upside on this land. Arema. We will fight and resist. Not with blood. We will fight with our brain. Where do you go? You stand in the Paga? Let's stand and fight. Tintin blow you stop, level blow you stop.
Okay, morning all kita. But one plus something me like talk sa veli plausim. Suppose you man true lo Papua New Guinea na you sabe also this line place lo you sleep kirap lo here. You got house, you got family, all picking in, all blow you, all go to school, you go work, and this is home. This is what we are fighting for. You know, pig dog, bali kisim you tasara tromo ilo one blahab. You may fight lo here, lo life lo you also human being. You must have place lo sit down. Suppose lo lila kisim you lo one place, putim lo nara place. Only master team this la place paste kisim you na putim you. This is the bottom line. We play no fight lo 2,000 kina, 5,000 kina, na 10,000 kina. We play fight lo life lo man. Sit down lo man. We have to be treated fairly just like any other human being. So now, last fight play me. Supreme Court, do or die. Okay, the last one. Then we are done.
Brother Lome. Let the life be away there.
I'm last standing, last stand now. Last stand. Put down. Leave him, leave. Yeah. How much like people live like roughly? Say about 300 plus. Now, elementary school in which one? Is there? Hermano, yo mucho se fue a Pilpinis.
That's where they came and got Joe. They came there and they kicked Joe's doorway, and they were pointing gun at him and ordering him to come out of the house. And I stood somewhere here. The policeman got up and got a very big stick and he was trying to hit the community residents here. Anybody that comes closer to Joe, he's just gonna hit him, you know. But we all were so brave that time. And we told him, you wanna arrest Joe, you'll arrest all of us. You wanna hit Joe, you will hit all of us. And we all came together and blocked the policeman.
Can we go to Joe? Well, I know he's not there. Are we going to get touch with him again? He will not come to work. It's going to have to fall now. I know that he will not come around because anything can happen. Because he's worrying about his life. That's very important. Matthew. Okay, you have him, Matthew. Matthew, you have him. Talking more with the line of Paga, waiting me stop. Anything is coming down. Matthew. Harema. Anything now come down and you wait for some Hollie me on him. Sing out the more with the line of Paga, now you wait this up. Adi declare him as this Grand Paga Nami place having a seaside and Grand people of Paga. What is next one day?
They force people out of Paga Hill again, regardless of the court orders. And so the people are now displaced. People are just all over the place. I do not know who is above the law, who is looked after by the law. I'm not too sure anymore. Things just went out of hand.
All paidi mibla, all bagara mibla, all kuji mahasma mibla, all budim gan batan mibla, all kiki mibla, all paidi, all bagara meri piginini, all paidi natin, mibla kissing mibla pen, kissing blood, rasa mibla tahu you paidi mi, all sindan ko roll on this time, mi karim, mama karim mi no here.
You know, both sides of the whole thing became so unwilling to listen and compromise, and if people feel there's been an injustice done, well, you know, progress doesn't stop. And whether one likes the progress or not, it goes ahead in every country, and that's what's happening there.
Maybe this country must have two laws. One for the small people like me, and one for the leaders, parliamentarians, or whoever is up there.
I've got another question. I don't really know how I can answer that in a way that is, you know, because the fact is, the way it happened is the way it happened. You know, would I have done anything differently? Well, really, probably, in retrospect, if I'd known what was going to happen, I probably wouldn't have gone in and said, I'll tell them, because it happens all around the city all the time. You know what I mean?
We'll be taking the matter to court again. When I stand for what is right and what I believe in, you cannot easily move me. People might say that, do I get scared? Yes, I'm scared. But who else is going to stand up and fight for what is right? I mean, if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? If I start thinking negatively, that will affect me. So what I'm doing now is I have to think positive, I have to be brave, and I have to, because I put my hand up, I have to be that someone that can really stand up. That's what I'm doing.